Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to dig into this really cool study that uses artificial intelligence to solve a problem that, millions of expecting mothers face. How do you get perfect nutrition for your baby without totally breaking the bank?
All right, so let's jump right into the big problem here. For so many families, pregnancy is this incredibly exciting time, but it also comes with a really tough question. How in the world do you provide the absolute best nutrition for a developing baby when you're on a tight budget? Well, the research we're looking at today has a pretty surprising answer. What if an AI could be your own personal perfect meal planner?
Okay, first things first. We really need to get a handle on the stakes here, because this isn't just about eating well. We're talking about building the literal foundation for a new life. And the research is super clear on this. This is about way more than just feeling good. Getting nutrition wrong can lead to really serious health issues for both mom and baby. So getting this right isn't just a nice to have, it is absolutely critical.
Okay, how do you actually build that perfect diet? The study broke it down into these 5 essential building blocks. You can kind of think of it like a daily puzzle, right? Your plate has to have a specific balance of staple foods, veggies, proteins from plants and animals, plus some other complementary things to make sure you hit every single one of those crucial nutritional goals.
All right, so we've got the problem laid out, but how can technology actually help? And this is where things get really interesting. Enter the AI. And trust me, it's a super clever approach. Okay, I know that sounds super technical, population-based optimization, but the idea behind it is actually pretty brilliant. Just imagine a whole army of virtual dietitians, or agents, all working at the same time. Each one comes up with a different meal plan, and together they explore thousands of combinations to find the single best one. It's basically crowdsourcing the perfect diet, but with AI.
So here's what I think is super cool about this whole thing. The researchers didn't just pick one AI and call it a day. Nope. They actually set up a competition, like a bake-off, but for AI meal plans, to see which one was truly the best.
All right, let's meet our competitors. The researchers put 4 different AIs head-to-head, and they basically fall into 2 different teams, 2 different strategies. Over in one corner, you've got the genetic algorithm, which is based on evolution, and in the other corner, you have 3 swarm intelligence models, which, believe it or not, are inspired by how animals work together in groups.
So, the genetic algorithm, it works pretty much exactly like Darwin's theory of natural selection. It creates a whole bunch of meal plans, checks how good they are, and then it throws out the bad ones. Only the fittest plans, the ones that are super nutritious and cheap, get to survive and mix together to create an even better next generation.
And that brings us to the other team, the swarm intelligence guys. Instead of competing against each other, they work together. Kind of like a flock of ducks searching for food. They're all sharing info in real time about what works and what doesn't. This teamwork helps the whole group find that perfect meal plan way faster.
All right, so we've got our 4 AIs ready to go. But how do you judge this thing? How do you pick a winner? Well, the researchers had a really specific way of keeping score.
Well, the scoring system, which they called a fitness function, was all about one thing: priorities. And look at this. Hitting those nutritional goals was basically everything. It made up 99.7% of the total score. Cost? That was just a tiny fraction, only 0.3%. It was really just a tiebreaker to find the cheapest plan after it was already nutritionally perfect.
So, here's the key takeaway. The most important rule of the game: a lower score is better. You want the lowest score possible. It means the AI nailed the nutrition goals for the absolute minimum cost. That's how we find our champion. And the results are in. So if you look at the scores, you can see the genetic algorithm, well, it had a tough time compared to the others. The swarm models all did pretty well, but yeah, there's one clear winner here with the lowest, and therefore the best, score of the bunch.
Okay, so let's get to the big reveal. What did the winning AI actually cook up for us?
And the winner is the duck swarm algorithm. Out of the 4, this one was the best at cracking the code, finding that perfect sweet spot between nutrition and cost.
And here's the number that really matters. The duck swarm algorithm figured out that a full day of perfectly balanced meals, hitting every single one of those nutritional targets, could be done for just over 62,000 Indonesian rupiah. Now, to put that in perspective, for a lot of us, that's about $4 for a whole day. Wow.
So, what does a $4 AI perfected pregnancy diet actually look like? Well, here it is. The menu is full of really accessible local foods like sticky rice, fermented soy things like tempeh, fresh fish, and fruit,
all perfectly portioned out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to hit that exact nutritional balance.
You know, the main takeaway here is, well, it's pretty incredible. You have this super complex, high-tech AI showdown that ends up creating a simple, practical plan that could genuinely change lives. It just takes all the guesswork and a ton of the financial stress out of one of the most important times in a person's life.
Look, at the end of the day, this research, which was focused on Indonesia, really just shows the amazing potential AI has to solve these huge public health problems all over the world. It takes this giant, messy puzzle with massive health and money implications and just spits out a clear, simple answer. It really gets you thinking, right? What other huge, everyday challenges are we going to point these AIs at next?